My name is Ryan Barnes. I've been driving for 12 years. Went local for about a few months, pulling wood chips. And that's basically went broke and came to ATS from there. Went into the flatbed division thinking, get a little exercise going that route. So I started here at ATS 10 years ago. And since then, moved all the way to the top of Specialized, 3-axle blades. Been doing that for the past 5 years. When I first came to ATS, getting that first check with no expenses taken out of it, it's like, oh, I'm in high cotton now. Like this is the most money I'd ever seen driving a truck, It has definitely been, it's been a great experience, I say that. I mean, 10 years and I'm still here. I've paid off a truck. I don't have plans to leave anytime soon. When you pull in a van, you're really not getting much exercise, outside of getting out, opening the doors and closing them. And one of my big things was I didn't want to get the trucker belly. So I figured if I went flatbed, that would at least make me stay physical. After my second load here, I couldn't even get out of the bed. I hurt so bad. It was so painful. But once you get accustomed to, especially moving the tarps as heavy as they are and chains, it really kind of keeps you in some form of fitness. Since then, I carry a lot of gym equipment in my truck. Everything from adjustable dumbbells, bands, I even have a portable pull-up bar. I try to eat out of the truck too. It's a lot, healthier going that route and cheaper, than eating the truck stop food. Prior military, from Arkansas. My first duty station was in Virginia, so I used to drive back and forth to that. Then I got stationed in California, so now I'm back and forth to California. So I always looked at trucks and I could probably do that as much as I'm on the highway. I got to a point where I wanted to open up a commercial studio for photography, vehicle wraps and so forth. And I saw trucking as a way of getting the revenue to get that going. So fast forward, I got all the equipment, had the studio, just don't have the time to actually do any of it. So trying to find a balance now to still be able to follow my passion with media and stay on the road at the same time. It's definitely a good avenue for raising funds, great income without having a ton of education. I mean, not saying that you can't have no education, but you know what I'm saying? You don't need a college degree to make a 6-figure income. So with that, it's perfect for coming in and making a solid living. I've been doing photography since I could walk, basically, but more so professionally shooting weddings and stuff like that for probably about going on 25 years I was doing photography. Then I got certified in doing vehicle wraps. I worked for a boat dealer in Arkansas. They had 5 locations and they wanted to start offering boat wraps. So they sent me to school for that. So that was interesting. And then I wanted to, break out on my own and do it. That led me down the path of doing more video stuff. So I started doing short films. And so I'm currently shooting on my 3rd short film now, and looking to get more into the indie filmmaking. Like Tubi is a great platform now, Amazon Prime. It's definitely tough right now. If my truck wasn't paid for, I don't know if I would stay afloat. This year has been a challenging year, especially when you're accustomed to making a certain amount. If you hadn't budgeted for it, it could definitely, sink or swim right now. The advice I would give drivers is definitely plan for a rainy day, because nothing in trucking is guaranteed, which makes this industry so difficult to even plan your life around, because it changes so drastically, so often. So you gotta put something back. When the freight is good and it's hot, don't go spending and buying up everything, because it's gonna shift. Just like the tide, it's gonna come in, it's gonna go out. So you gotta prepare for when that tide is out. And right now, unfortunately, it's been out for a little bit, but the good thing is we know the tide will come back in. My favorite thing about trucking is being your own boss. I don't think I could punch a clock anymore. You know, the older I get, I'm set in my ways. If I don't want to get up, I'm not getting up. If I don't, so that's my favorite thing about trucking is being able to, be your own boss and know that you're, for the most part, in control. If you need to make more money, then you need to run harder. If you don't need the money, then go home. And that's how I am. I'll run a few weeks and then like force, it's time to go home, and I go home,